I'm going to talk to you today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, about going viral on YouTube and how, quite honestly, it it ruined my YouTube channel, and it ruined me almost in a way. I don't mean to sound as appreciative or whatever it is that I should sound when going viral, but the honest fact of the matter is there's a dark side to growing virally. It becomes challenging in ways that you don't expect. I was running my channel Painfully Honest Tech, and I was growing it, and it was going well. I was getting good views on a lot of videos. I was getting subscribers. I think it was somewhere in between 20 and 30,000 subscribers. And this was in 2018. I was just making some videos. I'd made a series of videos that had done really well, and I think had started some conversation and stuff like that. And then it got to be around this time of the year, with iPhone season, and I was talking about Apple quite a bit, and Apple was making me upset at that time. And I said, and the title was, "I'm not going to order the new iPhone." And I don't know why. It was sort of a video like this where I just sort of sat down and extemporaneously off the top of my head talked about the frustrations that I had with what Apple was doing with the iPhone. And I don't even remember what they were at this point, but suddenly that video exploded. It just, over the course of the next week or so, got up to 1.3 something million views. And I'd never had more than a couple of 100,000 views, and not regularly either. And I went from 30,000 subscribers, let's say, rough number, to over 100,000 in the course of like 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And it thrust me into this world where the expectations for what people wanted from a YouTuber who had that kind of audience were different. And I didn't quite understand why. I was used to having conversations about things and having a certain amount of anonymity to just sort of build slowly. and and have a conversation with my audience. But virality brings visibility. And all of those people who show up to see what for me was part of what I did, but not everything that I did on my channel. I mean, that visibility brings an audience that didn't choose to subscribe to your channel because they liked what you were doing and they'd watched several videos before they made the choice. They subscribed because, you were blowing up. And I lost sight of the fact that, I was building something that wasn't necessarily intended for a viral audience. And this is the great catch-22 of YouTube. YouTubers and YouTube viewers and all that, they thrive on getting the most views, getting the most likes, subscribers. I mean, it means money, for one thing. That month, I think I ended up getting the check for that video month. And, with all the other views that I got like $12,000. Best month I've ever had in YouTube AdSense, before or since. And, so there are benefits. And if you can grow your channel to be one of those channels that gets hundreds of thousands of views with every video, that's great. But my channel didn't grow that way. So what ended up happening was the growth was not aligned with where I was as a creator. And even though I was older and had been down this road before, felt the pressure to, for lack of a better metaphor, hit a home run every time I came up to bat. And then the more often that I was unable to do that, the more I became desperate to do that again. And it threw everything out of whack. The plans that I had, the growth that I was having, it just put a lot of pressure on me to have a repeat performance. And that repeat performance never really came back around. I've had videos that have had hundreds of thousands of views over time, but I want to warn you as a creator, and this can be on YouTube, or this could be any place in the world, whether you write songs, or you write books, or you write quarterly reports, anything that gets a large ovation, it brings the temptation to make you want to hit that home run over again. And when you become desperate to do that, as I did, you're seeking the wrong kind of success. You're no longer guided by the principles that you put together as you started to build what it was that you were doing, the set of principles that got you to that place. You're starting to play by the other set of rules that maybe you weren't supposed to play by at all. It was not a channel that was meant to be popular with brands. But yeah, when you get into that arena of having tons of views, then you get contacted by companies and you get invited to do things with those companies. Then you have an opportunity and you want to make that opportunity work. Had I not had that opportunity, or had I had that opportunity but was able to stick to my guns and just say, this is what got me here, I'm going to keep doing the thing that got me here, whether it gets 1 million views or not, then I would have been a lot better off. I wouldn't have gone after all of that noise, and I would have then continued to grow slowly and organically and true to my nature, as opposed to, viralness is a fluke in a lot of ways. Getting 1 million plus views for 99.9% of everyone who ever has a video that gets that kind of views is a fluke. And if you try and recreate it time and time again, you will most likely fail, and you will most likely wonder what happened, and then your confidence will dip, and then you'll be more desperate to keep going after it. So what can you take from this lesson in failure from my standpoint? Don't worry about big goals like virality. Don't worry about getting the subscribers that you feel like you want or need to have. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're here on YouTube, if you're here on this channel, and you're listening to me talk about the experiences that I've had and what I learned from them, then you'll find that the epiphany that I had was, I would rather have 1,000 people here for me and my message and what I have to share and teach and grow and build with those people than I would because I said something that was shocking enough to get to get a bunch of views. And that was really what it was all about, being shocking enough to get a bunch of views. But here I am taking Painfully Honest to a different place and saying that, honesty is not just saying the true thing, it's saying what's true to you. And so I've kind of started to build this community. I have a community called the Honest Creator Studio, link to it down in the description. I have ways that you can work with me, and I have some downloadables and other things, and building more stuff all the time. But what's important to me is getting people over to that school community, getting people over there and starting the conversation about not how do I get my first 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, but who am I? What is my gift to give to the world? And how can I use YouTube as a platform to make that gift available. Virality is not a goal. Virality is something that is a nice to have, but not a need to have. And if you chase virality and subscribers, you will become dissatisfied. You will become dissatisfied with what you end up getting. And that's how going viral on YouTube kind of ruined my YouTube channel. It took me about 5+ years to realize it after the fact, but it did take me in a direction that wasn't the right direction for me to go. And that's why I'm here talking to you about this. So hit those links down in the description. Come join the community. Be a part of it. If you want to work with me, you can DM me in the community. If you want to do anything else or have anything else to say, it's a wide open, free to be there community that you can join, and we can start having our discussions. Thanks so much for being here. I'll check you next time. Check you next time. What am I talking about? Goodbye. Goodbye.